8:30 p.m. Saturday night, usual live stream time. Got Sticker granddaughter, she's kind of way over here. How's it going out there?
I got an Uncle Paul shirt on and a chapel hat.
All right. What's going on out there on a Saturday night? Coachella weekend 2. Girl at my grocery store I used to work at, she called it a stagecoach. That's what they call weekend 2. I've never heard that before.
Mikey said, good evening, Sticker family.
How you doing? Mikey Arugula is in the house.
Polly said, hi, friends. Happy Easter.
How you doing, Polly? Happy Easter to you. So the Benson Boone was on last night for the first night of the second weekend, and he had a Brian May cutout during Bohemian Rhapsody. So that was a rare appearance of Brian May last week. I guess he recovered from a stroke recently, and he came out there and did the Bohemian Rhapsody and the Beautiful Things with Benson Boone.
George Music for All Seasons said hello to
How you do, George, from Music from All Seasons?
Mikey said, looking forward to Wednesday.
Wednesday, April 23rd. Is that right?
Shoot.
Yeah.
Is it?
Wednesday, April 23rd, me and Mikey Arugula will be doing our next episode of Every Little Thing Beatles.
Gordon said, happy Restoration Weekend?
Resurrection.
Happy Resurrection Weekend, if I can say that right.
Resurrection.
Uncle Paul said, hello, my favorite family.
How you doing, Uncle Paul?
Nicole said, good evening, Frank.
How you doing, Nicole?
Thomas Crook said, hello, Sticker family. Happy Easter.
How you doing, Thomas Crook? Happy Easter to you.
Johnny Ramone said, yo, yo.
Johnny Ramone, do you have a YouTube channel, Johnny something, that you've been showing a lot of your Beatles collection? Is that you?
Dave Evans said, how's it going, Sticker family?
Dave Evans, sorry about your shipment on the 2 Police albums. The Postal Service is kind of brutal right now.
A Little Beatles Corner said, hi, y'all.
How you doing, Patricia?
Everyone's well. Happy Easter to all who celebrate. Mr. Beatles Pro said, hey, guys, I'm not going to be able to do Wednesday. Sorry, guys, I got to get this stuff packed.
All right, I understand. Tom Beatles Pro cannot make it for Wednesday. Uncle Paul, can you reach out to Jack and see if we can get him as a special guest next Wednesday, April 23rd, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? I'd appreciate it if you could reach out to Jack, the 11-year-old Beatle freak.
Uncle Paul said, all right, the t-shirt. Wow, thank you. You're welcome. Mikey's... He was talking to other people. Dr. Rick said, good evening, Mr. Stickermania and Sticker Girl. Nice to see you.
Dr. Rick, in the house.
Dave Evans said, you are good, my friend. You took great care of me.
All right. I got some other things coming, Dave Evans, in the future. And while I'm thinking about that, the man that I bought the Sgt. Pepper sealed Audio 5, he also has a Nimbus Supercut that's never been played, that was in a Minneapolis record store for many years, and he would like to sell it. If any of you are interested, reach out to me and I'll get you a hold of David from Minneapolis.
Uncle Paul said, yes, I have reached out. So far, no response from Jack and Rick. We'll try again.
All right, thanks.
And Tom, we just sent that out. We forgot to send it out Wednesday. We just sent it out yesterday, and I forgot to send you a tracking number. That's why you haven't got the writing pad yet.
All right, it's on your way, Tom. All right, a couple more Coachella. They list the 5 best performances of weekend 1 on YouTube. And number 5 was Benson Boone with Beautiful Things. Number 4 was Humankind with Ruin It Up. Number 3 was Shabuzi with Tipsy, the bar song. Number 2 was Green Day when they performed American Idiot. And the number 1 song, in YouTube's opinion, from weekend 1 was Benson Boone with Brian May doing Bohemian Rhapsody. If you haven't seen that, you need to check it out. It's really good.
Johnny Ramon said, "Got my checkbook. I'm ready to overspend."
Oh, you got your checkbook. All right. I got something you might want.
Dave Evans said, "Awesome."
What did Dave Evans say?
Awesome.
Said what?
Awesome. Awesome sauce.
So found this today. I couldn't believe it. A Beatles White Album from the United States. And you know they're usually not rare. But I got this from a state that Kevin Records helped me buy here in Louisville, Kentucky. You can get a hold of Kevin Records on Instagram. And guess what is on record 2 on this White Album? In the Dead Wax, it's got A11 on the A side, and it's got B13 on the B side in the matrices. And you know what that means? This is that compressed, that was all supposed to be destroyed of the White Album, badly compressed White Album that George Harrison hated, and he had to go fly to LA to do a new remix. This is one of those ones that was supposed to have been destroyed, only record 2. A11 lacquer and B13 on the B side. I played a little bit of it today. It does sound pretty bad, but it's pretty darn rare. What do you think of that? Dylan from Noble Records, he's got one of them. He said he'll never sell it. That was pretty rare. Thanks a lot, Kevin from Kevin Records. All right, we're going to do a few trivia questions here in a bit. I'm going to give away the sealed hard book anthology from the year 2000, completely sealed, with 3 trivia questions concerning the Beatles anthology. We got a 3x3. You can see it on the table. I'll show it better later on. We got this from Beetle Don, a buddy of Mikey Arugula, a 3x3 heavy plastic poster that hung in a record store in 1995 to advertise Anthology 1. What other notes I got? Beyonce's having a hard time selling tickets for her stadium tour. They can't figure out, nobody wants to fill up a stadium at high price tickets for Beyonce. Time marches on, that's all I can say.
Mikey said it's a Duratrain poster. Duratrain?
Yeah. What do you call it?
Duratrain? I don't know. Duratran.
Duratrim poster. Mikey knows more about it than I do. That was, I think, on my Coachella. Lady Gaga did her second weekend performance yesterday, and Lisa did hers, and Lisa's ranked as one of the top performers, the K-pop girl at the Coachella concert. And on the second weekend, we got Ed Sheeran. He wasn't in the first weekend, and the Weezer is not going to perform this weekend. They only performed the first weekend. There's a lot of rumors going on that Post Malone tomorrow night, the final thing of Coachella weekend 2, what do you think might happen? There's a trivia question for you. What's going to happen maybe during the Post Malone concert tomorrow night? I'm sure you guys know the same thing I know. The rumors are flying everywhere.
Daniel says probably has to do with Beyonce's husband getting bad publicity. Yeah, lately.
Highest paid performers ever at Coachella. Lady Gaga, number 1. Lisa, the K-pop girl's number 2. Travis Scott, number 3. And they say Cardi B is number 4.
Mr. Beatles Pro said they put that poster in a black lit box.
Oh, is that what it was? That's what it means. A black light post. A black light post. It was lit up from behind. Something on the YouTube today that kind of struck me a little strange. Lou Reed hated the Beatles. He thought all the groups from England shouldn't have been doing rock and roll. Lou Reed was a strange character. Pink Pony Club is still #1 on the Billboard Pop Airplay charts. And it seems like every time I get in my car on the AM stations, FM stations here in town, the local ones, Pink Pony Club is being played all the time. There's a Gaydar interview with Chappell Roan, a 7-minute interview that just came out yesterday, and it's pretty funny. I bought a signed Chappell Roan album for $400 on eBay, and I noticed it was traced before it was signed, completely fake. The seller didn't want to accept a return when I started a return, and eBay gave me my $400 back. So beware, if you're trying to find a Chappell Roan signed album on eBay, most of them are not real.
Daniel, real quick, because it goes with the Lou Reed.
Daniel said Lou Reed was very critical. I've told you this before. Lou was just bitter. The Brits were promoting more than local artists.
Gotcha. Well, he didn't like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. He didn't like any of them.
Greg said, "Hey, Sticker fam."
How are you doing, Gregory Field?
Gregory Field.
Is he working Coachella this weekend? He said that Benson Boone was doing his flipping thing last week. He's got that down, doing the back flips, the front flips. He even did a flip out into the audience last week.
Jesus.
The Blackwell auctions, the Beatles estate from last Wednesday. I worked out the deal on wiring the money, and I worked out the deal with the UPS store in Clearwater, Florida. They're going to pack all my 17 lots early in the week, and hopefully I'll have them for next Saturday. I told them I'd like to have it, and they're going to try to work it out where I get it by Thursday or Friday next week. One of the items I've already sold. Arthur Cohen reached out to me about the Yellow Submarine clothes hangers, the colored hangers from 1968. And he's already given me a down payment to lock in that he's going to get them for when I get them in. So that's pretty good when you can sell something before you ever get it. He says, "Do you have any pictures of it?" And I said, "Well, look up Blackwell Auctions for the Beatles estate. The pictures are right there." He looked it up and got back with me. He says, "They're in great shape. I want them." All right, we ready to do these trivia questions?
If you want, it's only been 13 minutes.
How many people we got in there watching?
28.
28. Here we go. 3 trivia questions considering relating to the Beatles anthology in 1995, 1996.
All have to be in one answer.
All
and
your
they all have to be
your
right.
answers has to be in one message to win this sealed book.
And gotta be right.
Number 1. What song were the Beatles working on besides Now and Then that didn't get released on Beatles Anthology Volume 3? There was another song they were working on besides Now and Then. What is the title of it? Number 2. Weird Al Yankovic wrote a parody for Free as a Bird called Gee, I'm a Nerd. And it got vetoed by one of the board directors of the Beatles. Which board director vetoed Weird Al Yankovic from releasing Gee, I'm a Nerd? Number 3. Which 3 members of the Beatles' inner circle were interviewed and in on the anthology besides the Beatles? They only allowed 3 people to be interviewed in the anthology, and they were members of the Beatles circle. Just give me their first names, the 3.
Novus Nick said, "Good evening."
Novus Nick. All right, you want me to repeat the questions?
Oh, I was looking at them, so when they got the
Number 1, what song were the Beatles working on for Anthology 3? But besides Now and Then, what was the title of the song and it never got released? Number 2, Weird Al Yankovic wrote a parody for Free as a Bird called Gee, I'm a Nerd, and it got vetoed by one of the board members of the Beatles Corporation. And number 3, which 3 members of the Beatles inner circle was in the anthology videos besides the 4 Beatles? Anybody, any answers?
Nope.
Nobody's giving a attempt to answer them?
Hey.
Everybody's probably looking them up.
Hard questions tonight. Yeah, I thought so too, Mikey.
Oh, they're hard questions?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought the Weird Al Yankovic was just, that blew me off the wall. I'm like,
hey, gee, I'm a bird. Instead, no, what is that? What? Gee, I'm a nerd. Instead, free as a bird. No, that might have been a big hit. I'll give you a hint.
Here's Uncle Paul. Read Uncle Paul before you do that.
I'll give you a hint. One of the Beatles said he thought it was pretty cool and he was going to allow it.
Uncle Paul, you almost got the last one right, but you're not right on the first one, and you didn't even do the second one.
All right.
Hey, I'm supposed
I know.
to read them.
Well, I know, but let me see.
No one's got it right yet. Wait.
What's Daniel got?
No.
Nope. You'll have to do the middle question, too.
Thomas Crook.
Thomas Crook, you're getting close. You got 2 of them right.
You have to name all 3.
We're coming up with... Some of you have all the answers, but none of them all together. That's all I can say. You got to put all 3 of the right answers in one message.
Uncle Paul said like he already has the book. Because he can't figure it out.
All right, we got another one here.
Not right.
Huh?
Not
Nope.
right.
No. Daniel, you're getting the first one wrong. And you got the second one. Yeah, you got a lot of mistakes here, Daniel. Somebody's got the right answers on a lot of them.
I got the right answer.
What song were the Beatles working on for Anthology 3 besides Now and Then? What is it? Never got released. They're hoping that it's going to be released this year.
Daniel, you have to do the middle question.
He's saying George Harrison.
Yeah, George Harrison is not the one that vetoed the Weird Al Yankovic song.
The last one, there's 3 members.
Yeah,
For
but,
number 3, there's 3.
you only got one of them.
At least do 2 of them.
Yeah.
No.
Do 2 of them, you can get it.
We got to get the the Weird Al Yankovic. Who of the Beatles board of directors vetoed that from being released? We got to get that one right.
Mikey's.
Mikey's got one.
Yeah.
Mikey Arugula, you're the winner.
Name one more person.
No.
He was the first
Add to
one. He was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Mikey Arugula, got it. All for Love was the song the Beatles were working on for Anthology 3. Yoko's the one that didn't want the Weird Al Yankovic song released, and she vetoed it. And the 3 members of the Beatles inner circle was Neil Aspinall, George Martin, and Derek Taylor. Way to go, Mikey. I'm sure you probably already have
Yeah,
it.
man, he said give the book to someone else.
All right, anybody else get the right answers after him?
Daniel was close.
Did
Yeah,
anybody get the All for Love and Yoko in the same message?
No, Daniel didn't have the Yoko. He had
Yeah.
Paul say Yoko. He couldn't figure out the Yoko. No one could figure out the Yoko.
All right.
I mean, no.
Maybe I'll have another trivia question later on here when we get going. We tried. Way to go, Mikey Arugula. It took you. Those are not the easiest questions in the world, were they, Mikey? All right, Beatles done. We're going to take this off the table. Let's show it a little better. You got to hold that back. So they must have had a black light
Fly towards me.
that behind there in a box to light this up for the stores. That's midnight when they were selling the anthology.
Take the top down a little. Go down with the top a little. There you go. At least they can see it.
All right, here's another little trivia question. One answer, maybe we'll give this book away. Which Beatles album? There's only one Beatles album that went straight to #1 the first week it was released after it came out on the Billboard charts. What was the title of the Beatles album? It went straight to #1. If you get that, I'll give you the anthology book.
A Hard Day's Night.
Nope.
Wrong.
It sold 400.
Anthology one.
That's it. Who got it?
Uncle Paul.
Uncle
has
Paul.
He says he has the book too. So.
All right, well,
Mikey, why would you comment again? You ain't want it.
Oh well.
Guess I get the book.
I guess I better get off of anthology. What else I have in anthology? I got this from Uncle Paul. I think I showed this. This is the press release.
Daniel said do a raffle, man. We probably should do a raffle. Put everybody's name in a freaking thing sometime. Might
Yeah.
do that.
Not today, tomorrow.
Who out there doesn't have the anthology book? Let's put it that way.
Me.
He said keep book, I'll trade something else. I'll give book to Harry.
The poster for the Beatles anthology that was in this press kit.
Mikey said he likes that.
Don't see too many of these press kits. Mikey probably wished I had this in the trivia questions as a contest winner. And that's the folder, and it even has a page in here showing how Ford Motor Company had many of the commercials for the Beatles anthology.
Patricia says she don't have one of the books.
All right, Patricia, Little Beatles Corner. Let's give her the book.
Hey, Uncle Paul said he gave it to me.
Is that okay, Mikey and
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul? We're gonna give that to Patricia.
And then Mikey says he likes the press kit.
Mikey likes a press
He
kit.
asked how much.
How much, Mikey? Press kit with a poster. Let's see who buys it first. Price $100 shipped. Are you in, Mikey?
Nicole says she has 2 copies of the anthology book.
We're gonna give it to Patricia. She doesn't have it.
He says it's his, mine. He said. So.
All right, Mikey got the press kit. I got this courtesy of Uncle Paul at the Fest for Beatle Fans in New Jersey, 2025. Was that like 3 or 4 weeks ago?
What?
Yeah.
Anthology. Showing
Patricia.
the rest of the anthologies. You've seen my VHS box set. That's the original hype sticker. It says The Beatles, a complete untold story, contains almost 10 hours, including rare and previously unseen footage. And can you believe when this came out in 1996, this sold for, I think the retail price on it was $125, and it's not worth more than $20 now.
Little Beatles Corner said, thank you, Mikey, Frank, and Ari. I will be really happy to have it.
You're welcome.
Uncle Paul said, yes, a great weekend was had by all. Johnny Ramone's a new book coming in November. Mikey said, need to get ready for anthology celebration.
Yeah, everybody's putting out their anthology videos. Me and Mr. Mayo did one, I think, yesterday. Better start saving your money for the deluxe Uber box set that's probably going to sell for $1,000 at Christmas time. Hopefully it'll have the whole Shea Stadium concert and all of the Washington, D.C. concert. And on the audio, all the Decca tapes and the Star Club tapes, courtesy of Peter Jackson. Got this Rolling Stones album. This is going out to Eric Cash. Rolling Stones, Undercover of the Night. This was signed in 1994 when the Rolling Stones were touring Florida and Georgia. A roadie got this. You got Mick Jagger, even though Mikey can't read these autographs. Mick Jagger up here, Ronnie Wood, Keith Richards, and Charlie Watts. Was really hard to see his autograph.
Mikey Rigolo said, what's the story with all these Stones autographs?
They signed a lot of them in the 1990s and the 2000s when they were on tour. If you got a VIP pass, you got to spend 10 seconds with the Rolling Stones and you got a signed album.
Uncle Paul said, I believe they will stream it all first. Re-anthology, if any, we will get a remastered set, audio only.
So this is the tour they were on when this was signed, the Voodoo Lounge tour of 1994 in the United States. What'd they say about the anthology? It'll be on Apple Plus first.
Oh, they didn't say that. Nobody said
Well,
that.
that's where it's going to stream first.
Chris
Not Apple Plus, I mean Disney Plus, sorry.
Chris Robertson said $1,000. Is that before or after tariffs?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's not even talk about that.
That's
Mikey
just a joke.
Regula said, are you getting them from all the same source?
Am I getting what?
I don't know.
What am I getting from the same source?
Rick said
Oh,
Ari
okay.
is the
Oh,
best.
the Rolling Stones signed
Oh,
albums?
okay.
No, they're coming from a few people.
Okay, I got it. I was confused too when you talk about.
Someone commented and said I'm the best.
Sold this today, my Shea Stadium 1965 program that's got the
Hey, boyfriend.
ticket stub and the photos from the concert. You can see the Beatles running out through the infield to second base. And on the, you can even see the scoreboard. Eric Cash was interested in what was on the scoreboard. I think it says, for safety's sakes, please stay in your seats. And a couple other pictures. You can see how full that stadium was all the way to the top. The first rock concert stadium show of all time, 55,000 people, August 23rd, 1965. August 15th, 1965, right there on the ticket stub.
He deleted it.
Nope.
Anyway, it sold for $444 today.
Like this stream. Like this stream. If you like this stream, you get a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up, you get one.
Greg asked any AC/DC fans here.
I have a sealed AC/DC Back in Black I showed last time, but that's in the other room now.
Mikey said 23rd is 1966. Danny Goldstein said, I spent many, many days going to the Met games in Shea Stadium. I got the seat.
Yep, we got our Shea Stadium seat right here.
You hear what Mikey said about the 23rd is 1966?
He did.
I just what it says on the ticket stub.
I
August
don't know,
23rd.
you said something wrong.
19. I said the wrong thing first, but on the ticket stub it's got it right. What else we got to show? I think I missed Charlie XCX on the Coachella weekend too. Travis Scott, I think is probably the headliners tonight. I don't know if Green Day is on tonight or not. I'm looking forward. What was the answer, or did you guys already say what? The rumor is, who's Post Malone going to maybe perform with tomorrow night? I don't think anybody answered that yet.
Nope.
Come on, you guys know the answer to that.
With me.
They're supposedly already booking the tour for all across the United States this year.
Read Johnny Ramone.
Johnny Ramone said AC/DC concert last night rocked.
I saw Brian. I saw AC/DC in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 20 years ago, and I had backstage passes to see the members of AC/DC when Brian Johnson was in the group, and we were waiting in line for an hour. And by the time I finally got in there, they gave me some quick autographs, and they said, "Get these guys out here and get the girls in." Because right behind us there were girls with backstage passes, and you know where they were at.
Alright, do the
Mikey
Angus Young, I saw him backstage, all 5'2" of Angus Young.
Mikey said Nirvana.
Yes, that is the answer. The post-Nirvana show may happen tomorrow night at the end of the Coachella weekend too. Post-Nirvana, I hope so. That'll be rocking.
How much? The boy.
How much does a signed undercover jacket cost?
I sold for $199 last night on eBay.
Uncle Paul said if it's not Chapel or Sabrina, I'm out. LOL.
Chaperone, she sold 60,000 tickets in 10 minutes last week. They were supposed to sell one show in Edinburgh, Scotland, and the demand was so heavy they added a second show, and the second show sold out immediately also. So she's not having a hard time selling tickets. It's Beyonce that's having a hard time selling tickets.
Greg said AC/DC Soundman also does sound for Paul McCartney.
All right. There's the Pink Pony Club Record Store Day with Naked in Manhattan on the B-side. All right, you want to put that over my chaperone side?
Danny Goldstein said, by the way, it was announced today that Zach Starkley was welcomed back to The Who today.
Wow, that didn't last long.
Greg said 2 gigs, pretty cool.
So did Gregory and Johnny Ramone only work Coachella weekend 1, or are you guys working there tonight? You must have only worked last weekend there. All right, we got a couple more things to show. Sicker granddaughter's going through the Chaperone magazines, the Rolling Stone magazine. Got another Beatles Happy Christmas box from 2017 with all sealed records inside. I can open it up. Mikey's got all the originals of these that he got from me. Mikey, did you ever open up the rare one, this first one? You have the original in the mailer, that there's only several thousand of them in the world. Did you ever open up the package?
Mikey said that Zach Starkley story was BS.
Oh, so someone that's not.
So he never got fired from the Who, is that what you're saying?
Chris Robinson.
That's a 64. Mikey's got all the originals. 65. 66 should be. 66 should be this one. 67. It says 68 on it. This must be the 67. 68 and 69. These are all sealed from 2017. Price on that, if anybody's interested, is $100. I know that little Patricia's Corner, she's already got one of these. $170 shipped.
Chris Robertson said, that's good. I guess 29 years with them has merit. Mikey said, not yet. A little Beatles Corner said the Who would never get a better drummer. They felt the heat online. Greg said, Elizabeth Fred Pooh Pod, the story she's Ringo's PR too. Mikey said, I will open it up next Christmas. And Greg said, you got a lot to open, Mikey.
You're saving them for next Christmas, Mikey?
Daniel said they're saying the mono red RSD. Out of our head.
Out of our heads sounds good or not?
Sounds worse than the mono box.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones. The new one that was supposedly mastered from the original mono master tapes. I guess he says it doesn't sound very good. My opinion is when you get into the Rolling Stones, you're better off to get the original pressings. Those master tapes are scattered all over the world. You don't know what's real and what's not. At least with the Beatles, you got it all in one place, all in a vault. The Rolling Stones is a whole different animal.
RSD is record store name. Oh, okay.
Got this, this is my argument of why this album here is the best sounding, or in my opinion, the best Beatles album ever, Beatles for Sale, because the Beatles had just got off a tour in the United States when they were at the height of their world, and they recorded this album real quickly. But boy, they had it down. Muscle memory. They knew what to do in the studio, and they knew what to do quickly when they recorded this album. Beatles for Sale. If you have never heard the stereo tube cuts, -1 of Beatles for Sale, you're missing out on the magic of the Beatles.
Read Daniel.
Daniel said the problems is Abuku owns the Stones catalog and they're about the cash grabs.
Yeah, it's a little different on the Stones catalog than the Beatles catalog.
Greg,
The Beatles want to put out quality products.
Greg said heard for sale today. Ivan Music Man said I like this channel from Norway, the Beatles anthology on vinyl in 2025? ?
Well, that's the rumor that the Beatles are going to be a deluxe box set of anthology, Uber box set at the end of the year with things we've all been clamoring for forever and ever. They got us first generation fans aren't going to be on the planet Earth much longer.
Daniel Castillo said have the very first Beatles for Sale with Kansas City misprint on the label and sleeve. David.
Does anybody agree with me? This is one of the best Beatle albums ever recorded.
If you would shh. Dave Evans said, Frank, you are correct on the Stones on the remasters. The originals are the best.
Yep.
Danny Glowson said, Frank, did you follow the Heritage auction the last couple of days?
No, I was too busy with the Blackwell auction in Clearwater, Florida. I've been involved with the Heritage auctions before, and these are the 17 lots I won in the Blackwell auction.
Greg said he agrees top 3.
The Beatles for Sale.
Yeah.
Do you want to read them?
No, but he just
Daniel.
can.
Daniel Castillo said the songs are not the strongest, but it's a great sounding album in stereo.
Yes.
Danny said, yes, I agree, love Kansas City. Barbara said,
The covers are just fantastic on Beatles for Sale.
Barbara said, yes, my favorite Beatles LP sounds good.
All right.
Vic Malone said BFS has a brilliant stereo mix and the two sound is incredible.
Yeah, they always complain about the Help stereo and the Rubber Stole stereo mix, but the Beatles for Sale tube cut stereo mix is just amazing.
Nicole said, how much for the Beatles for Sale?
It is listed on my Stickermania 2853 eBay store.
For how
I think
much?
it's for, I sent out offers of $88 on it. Check out my Stickermania 2853 eBay store and you should see it. All right, what else?
If you need to reach his email for some reason.
Yeah, you need to reach me about anything on my YouTube. It's Mr_Stickermania at yahoo.com. I apologize, Sticker Granddaughters added a bunch of Chapel Roan stickers to all my
It looks
all my
better.
things. So this one says Midwest Princess and Phenomenon, and the other one says Good Luck Babe and Hot to Go.
Daniel said the stampers also make a difference in the sound. Luckily, I have the earliest pressings.
Beatles for Sale.
I'm guessing that's what
Yeah,
it sounds
if you
like.
listen to a -1 tube cut or a later -3, -5, there's no comparison. You guys always think we get too wrapped up about matrices, but they mean everything when you're talking about an audiophile pressing of an album. like the RL, Led Zeppelin 2, RLSS, which stands for Robert Ludwig Sterling Sound, and you want to get the MO, the Monarch pressing. All right, we just sold a Led Zeppelin program from 1977 on eBay for $75. Sticker granddaughter pays attention to my eBay store while I'm doing this.
But
So this is the 1964 Life magazine with the, you call that the flap. That's the way that they sold in the newsstands, where if you got a subscription, you wouldn't have that flap on there.
Uncle Paul said play a song with a effing beat. LOL.
Yep, that's from Phenomenon. Way to go, Uncle Paul.
Daniel Castillo.
Play the song with an effing beat.
Daniel Castillo said, I have a very early Abbey Road. Sounds better than later pressings, stamper pressings.
Abbey Road.
Ivan Music Man said Chaperone are playing live in Norway this summer.
She's playing Norway, Poland, all over England, Paris, France. She's all over the Europe. She did Coachella last year, Chapel. Check her YouTube performance at Coachella last year if you want to see something amazing. So this is the Abbey Road, UK. It's not the Missalign, but I have a Missalign coming next week. And you want to get the -2, -1 in the dead wax. It means everything on Abbey Road pressing. Freshly cut from the master tapes at Abbey Road Studios.
More sticker grandson.
You know Abbey Road Studios was called EMI Studios before this album was released.
What?
And we got the Look magazine from 1968, January, with John Lennon on the cover. And it has the 4 Beatles in there. It's got, I don't want to open up that banner thing, it's kind of fragile. Here's the coupon that was inside. Nicole didn't Nicole get my last set of these we sent out to her?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah, she should have them in the mail. Did I say my Sgt. Pepper Audio 5 is in England, but he lives in Wembley, so he'll get it next week.
Ivan said my fave Beatles are Abbey Road.
So I've sold 2 of the highest priced Sgt. Peppers ever in the world. Sold my Nimbus Supercut a couple of years ago for $7,000. The sealed 1984 Nimbus Supercut for $7,000. And I sold the Audio 5 sealed, one of the few left in the world, it was number 305. I sold it for $7,500. So Sgt. Pepper's got a lot of value. I guess it's still considered, at least by us Beatle freaks, us first generation, one of the greatest albums ever to be recorded.
Vic Malone said, Frank, do you need needle drop those 2 peppers?
I never needle drop those 2 peppers. PB Thal wanted me to needle drop. He wanted me to send him a Nimbus Supercut so he can make a needle drop, but I never did that. All right, what else you guys want to talk about? I think we're about done with tonight.
Daniel Castillo said actually Sgt. Pepper has dropped on several lists of greatest albums in favor of Revolver.
Yeah, that's true, but a Revolver would never sell for $7,000, I hate to say.
What are y'all doing for Easter tomorrow?
The Sticker Kid hasn't come, and he's going to go to an Easter egg hunt tomorrow. Sticker Kid, why don't you come in here and say hi? See if you can go out and find him.
he's here. There we go.
The only joke I have
He's
is
being
that
stupid.
Sticker Kid will come to the live stream.
Sticker Kid, make appearance.
Mikey said, what's a needle drop?
What's a needle drop?
Yeah.
There's people out there that know how to do a needle drop, real good recording. They rip the sound of a audio file pressing and they put it on the internet. PB Thal knows how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I know how to play. I played the Nimbus Supercut once on my Thorns 320 TD turntable, and it sounded amazing. The mid-range and the vocals and Paul McCartney's bass, you never heard it before until you hear that Nimbus Supercut or Audio 5. Sticker Kid, come say hi.
What does an egg say to the Easter?
What is what?
What does the egg say to
All right,
the Easter?
hurry up, come on. Here's Stick. We got a special guest here. How you doing? You want to sit down there and be the moderator?
No.
Huh. All right, glad you could show up.
Danny Goldstein said, are you going to see the Pink Floyd IMAX showing of their 1970s?
They didn't show the John Lennon 1-to-1 documentary, so I'm sure they probably won't show the Pink Floyd here in town either. But they did show the Led Zeppelin documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin, and we went to that. You want to wave and say hi?
No.
All right, I think we're going to close this out. We got the 2 sealed box sets of the red and blue vinyl of the Beatles 62 to 1970 and the sealed CD box set. About ready to open this up and play it in my car because the rubber sole tracks on this sound amazing.
Have a nice Easter. Pray to the Jesus. Eat some good food.
Watch Coachella tomorrow and see if Nirvana shows up with the remaining members of Nirvana show up with Post Malone. It'll be a hot jam for sure. Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky. See you later.
Have a